What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, March 17th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Chris Paul from the Houston Rockets playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the 11th worst defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing point guards. Chris Paul has scored 36 and 32 fantasy points in his last two games. He sat out the last game for rest purposes, so he should be fresh and good to go. He's averaging 38 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 33 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. Chris Paul is $6,700 DraftKings salary. He's $1,400 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 36.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.5 times value. James Harden is questionable for this game. At 6-7 DraftKings, I don't care if James Harden plays or not, I'm going to lock Chris Paul in every single one of my lineups. He has an 82% chance of hitting value at that DraftKings price. So I love Chris Paul versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember, we added projected ownership, and that will be updating throughout the day as injury news changes. We also added the fantasy points per minute stat here for each player, and we also added a stat that's new to the industry. We call it the hit percentage, and it's the percent chance this player has to hit value at his current DFS salary. And you can access all these new stats even on mobile devices by tapping the dash rank icon. Okay, who do we have at the shooting guard position? I like Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the 6th worst defense overall. They give up the 2nd most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Zach LaVine scored 50 fantasy points in his game back from injury, averaging 38.4 fantasy points per game on this season and an average of 35 minutes per game with a 31% usage rate. He played 38 minutes last game, so there's no question of his health. This is not a back-to-back for him, so he's had time to rest. Zach LaVine is $8,000 DraftKings salary. He's $300 more on FanDuel, projected at 40.1 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5 times value. There's an implied total of 232 points in this game. This is a fast-paced game and a fantastic matchup, and his ownership is relatively low at only 12%. I like Zach LaVine here versus the Sacramento Kings. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, who do we have at the small forward position? I like Buddy Hield from the Sacramento Kings playing the Chicago Bulls, who have the 8th worst defense overall. They give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Buddy Hield has scored 23, 52, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 33.9 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 32 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. Buddy Hield is $7,000 DraftKings salary. He's $300 less on FanDuel. I think the pricing guy over there has something against Buddy Hield. Always priced way too low on FanDuel. Gotta take advantage of that. So Buddy Hield is projected at 33.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's going to need 35 fantasy points to hit 5 times value. Buddy Hield's got 40-50 point upside. This is a fast-paced game and a fantastic matchup, so I love Buddy Hield here versus the Chicago Bulls. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, who do we have at the power forward position? I like Montrezl Harrell from the LA Clippers playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have the 12th worst defense overall, and they give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. Montrezl Harrell has scored 42, 47, and 32 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 31.5 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 26 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. Montrezl Harrell is $6,600 DraftKings salary. He's $1,200 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 32.2 fantasy points here tonight, that's just about 5 times value. So Montrezl Harrell has had 30+% usage rate in the last 3 games. So this is a home game, a fast-paced game. This is a big man versus Brooklyn play. I love Montrezl Harrell here versus the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like KarlAnthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves playing the Houston Rockets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they're also middle-of-the-pack defending opposing centers. KarlAnthony Towns has scored 51 and 58 fantasy points in his last 2 games, averaging 50.5 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 33 minutes per game with a 29% usage rate. KarlAnthony Towns only played 26 minutes last game and still put up 51 DK points. Cat is $10,000 DraftKings salary. He's $1,400 more on FanDuel, projected at 45.5 fantasy points here tonight. I think that's a little low. I think it's safe to project him at least 50 fantasy points here tonight, which is 5 times value. KarlAnthony Towns has scored 48, 51, and 50 fantasy points in his last 3 games versus Houston Rockets. I think he's got a safe floor of 50. I love KarlAnthony Towns here versus the Houston Rockets. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to DraftDashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.